How's it going, everybody? I'm James Loud, and this is the Loud Times Review Show. So today we're going to be reviewing grinders, what's good about them, what's bad about them, and all the different possibilities. So today we're going to be reviewing grinders and mills. We're going to be starting off with the flour mill. This has different plates that you can use. We have the Sweetleaf grinder, which is the original. We have the Santa Cruz Shredder. Some call it the connoisseur's grinder. It has little teeth that are serrated. And then we have the cheap gas station grinder. So a little bit about grinder history. I've been using grinders since the beginning of grinders. In 1997, my friend gifted me one of the original Sweetleaf grinders. It was actually the size up than this. It was a really cool thing because before that, what we did is we were either using scissors, we were breaking it up with our fingers to roll joints. And the scissors, one of the tricks we would use is we'd put them in a shot glass, all the flour in a shot glass, and we just chop until it was suitable to put it in a joint. And so with the invention of the Sweetleaf grinder, it changed the landscape completely. There's a bunch of other products that came out over the last 30 years and almost 30 years. And this is where it all started. So now if we're looking for a grind, what are we looking for? Well, that's so subjective to the individual because it's depending on where you're trying to smoke. If you want to smoke something that burns with white ash, something that burns slowly, you're probably going to want a fine grind. That's going to give you a specific looking end product, right? And if you want to smoke a blunt, or if you're smoking something that's in tobacco that's rather large, you're going to want a coarse grind. Almost the more coarse, the better. And what that does is that allows more airflow throughout and it gets you bigger hits, right? So everybody has their own preference, and all of these grinders give you different possibilities. The mill has the most diversity in the sense that it has different size plates, so you can have different holes it goes through. And in fact, if you grind, and there's seeds in it, if you're using the largest mill, the seeds will pass right through and you're gonna be able to collect the seeds. And the difference is this slices where these grind. And the Sweetleaf, the Santa Cruz Shredder, and the gas station, these all three grind, and this mills. So Sweetleaf has these little metal spikes, and combined, when you twist it, you get that grinding action. You load it from the top because then it's easier to put the bottom on for grinding. It works really good. And then the Santa Cruz Shredder, in some ways more an advanced version than the Sweetleaf in the sense that it really grinds, and it has these sharp teeth, and it has a magnet, stays on, it's really great. So in the gas station grinder, there are these little spikes. The problem is they're little spikes, and so they grind it, they do an average job. You got to do a lot of work, and they're probably good for a couple uses, and then you have to either soak them in alcohol or throw them away. Dispose of them. And then we have the flour mill. There's different options, different sizes, and the beauty of this is it comes with different size milling plates. You have a fine and extra fine, a coarse and an extra coarse, and then the standard one that comes with the mill. So let's start with the gas station and go over all the details with it. This one has a magnet. Not all of them do. It has these smaller spikes. They get actually stuck with plant material and with resin, and it's just a pain in the ass to scrape and clean. Plus you're scraping plastic. Who wants plastic in their joints or pipes or however you're smoking it? And while the first grind on this is really good, you're not gonna get a consistent grind over time. It takes a lot more wrist and a lot more strength to get this one going. If the flour is really dry, it's not as big of a deal as if you're dealing with moist flour. These are cheap. They can be as cheap as 99 cents. And I think if you order them in bulk, they could probably be as cheap as 10 cents, right? The beauty of them is the price. That's the beauty of them, and they're disposable. You're not gonna wanna throw away your Santa Cruz Shredder, your Sweetleaf, or your flour mill. You're gonna wanna wash those in alcohol and take them with you. But if you're going on vacation, sometimes it's nice to have something that you can just throw away before you get back on the plane. Or if you forgot your grinder, gas stations are everywhere. I love this grinder. The Sweetleaf is the original. It's the OG. It has a place in my heart. It's just really special. And they have different sizes. I think they're made really well. I can't say enough good things about the people that innovate things like Sweetleaf and go in there. They came from Canada. It's now owned by Michael Charoniak, who's one of my good friends. And you know, the one drawback is maybe having to scoop stuff out, but these are fairly easy to clean. So with the Sweetleaf, there is no keef catcher. It is tougher on the wrist than some of the other grinders, but it's much better than the gas station knockoffs. These grinders retail from $30 to $40. I think priced very appropriately, something that you can afford and something that will also last a lifetime. So now we have the Santa Cruz Shredder. Some people swear by the Santa Cruz Shredder as it being the best grinder on the market. I do like it. I think that the Sweetleaf is also good, and so is the flour mill, but this is a great grinder. It has these beautiful teeth. It's got a magnet. They come in multiple sizes and multiple colors. And you know, again, it has these teeth. And so you can actually get a coarse grind by doing it really quickly and then taking it out. Or if you want to go fine, you can grind for longer. But again, you are grinding and not milling. Not that there's anything wrong with either way. It's a personal preference. And some of the best connoisseurs use this. Some use the Sweetleaf and some use the flour mill. It's made in California with medical grade anodized aluminum. I'm from California, this is from California. You can't hate on California. This grinder is designed to fluff more than tear. This grinder, when used correctly, will create a product that's easily burned evenly in a bowl or a vaporizer. I would say that you can get the same results from the Sweetleaf or the flour mill if they're used correctly. So Santa Cruz Shredders may not be the cheapest. They run from $70 to $100 per grinder, but they are consistent and they have different colorways, something that'll last a lifetime. So with flour mill, it's not a grinder, it's a mill. And with that being said, you're using pressure and plates to pass the flour through the screen and collecting the bottom. So you're getting a fluffy product. I feel like there's so many different options with the flour mill, you know, and now they have a silicone grip. You can get different ones with different screens and literally super easy to change out the different plates. So in the bottom of the flour mills, we have keef catchers. Not all of them have them, but it's an option that you can get. Lots of upgradable features. They do a lot of cool collabs like this one with Grove bags, right? So you can do collabs if you're a brand and you want to do flour mills. They do collabs. Yeah, and so there are two models in two different sizes. One is the standard that does not come with interchangeable screens, and one has the different plates that you can swap out. I have never had any problems with the flour mill with any shaved metals. They're great for flavor. They're great for consistency and being able to choose the consistency that you're looking for very easily. You know, overall, I think it's an amazing product. So now here's my take on it. We got the gas station grinder. It's good, but throw it away after you're done. Santa Cruz Shredder. This thing is amazing. I think it's great. It's pretty much the connoisseur standard grinder. Sweetleaf nostalgic, also amazing. And again, it has a great place in my heart. I love this thing. And then flour mill, I think they're innovative. I think they're doing something nobody else has done before, and they're a game changer. My overall pick is the flour mill. I do like both of these grinders, but I like the diversity of the options that you get. I like the fact that you can use different plates. I like that you can customize them with all these different colors, and I really like the silicone grip. They're all easy to soak in alcohol. You can just put them in some ISO overnight, dry it off in the morning, and you're good to go. But if I had to pick one, it would be the flour mill. That's it for today's grinder breakdown. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let us know in the comments which grinder is your favorite, or do you like the flour mill as well? Until next time, make sure to keep your grind clean and your flour fluffier than a pillow. Until next time, make sure to keep your grind clean and your flour fluffier than a pillow. I can't believe I said that, but that was pretty funny.